Anyways, 1797, Josh Barnett.
Should have been an MMA.
Should have been an MMA. Depressing fact, he's 44 years old. That always kicks me right in the jockstrap when you hear that. Like, this guy's a fucking man. He's got his shit together, right?
Yeah.
44. So, really got life by the balls and got after it. Selling whiskey.
I don't understand what you mean.
Whenever, I look up to Josh Barnett. Well,
He was like a hero of yours?
no, I just respect the man.
And then he finds out that he's 2
He's
years
younger than me.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's just a weird thing.
Gotcha.
I don't know how to explain it.
I got you.
In the same amount of time, he's done a hell of a lot more and is in a way better place in every facet of life. Yeah, right off the beginning, Joe said he was going to stop drinking and then had to try his whiskey, which I think might have been...
He said because of last weekend, which makes me think that this must have been... No, because they talked about Will Smith, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty time relative to, I think it happened on the Monday when it was released, it was released on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So maybe he was talking about a different weekend, because that was a couple of weekends ago, like a month ago almost.
I got to say this. I'm sitting here editing, and Simon texts the group saying, holy shit, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of Chris Rock at the Oscars. And he was nice enough to send a video link of it unedited.
A good one, a Japanese
great one, yeah. So I watch it. I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking bananas. But again, I'm here editing. I'm not going to turn it on. I've already missed the best part, clearly. So I send that video to Mary, or the link that you sent me. And I was like, the Oscars are lit this year. And a couple hours later, she texts me back. And she says, holy shit, Will Smith slapped the shit out of Kevin Hart. And I'm sitting here and I'm like,
what?
I'm like, motherfucker, Will Smith has lost his goddamn mind. What is that? Yeah. I'm like, this guy's just backhanding black comedians left, right, and center. Like, what's happening? So then I text her back. And anyway, we got to the bottom of it, that she was just sat. I was like, that's Chris Rock. She was like, oh, my bad. But I thought it was hilarious that I had assumed that Will Smith was going around the Oscars just
I thought someone had done a deep fake and you sent her a picture.
No, I understood right away when you said it. Mary just got the information wrong. And
yeah, we'll get to that.
So wait, now that we're talking about Will Smith.
Sure.
What is wrong with you?
No, it's fine. We'll get into it.
Go ahead. Now that we're talking about Will Smith. Matrix moment. Well, yeah, Matrix moment. How long have I been talking to you guys about slap fighting for?
I don't know, a while.
A minute.
I feel like I'm in a uniquely competent position to be an authority on Slapgate.
I think so. I think you could tell.
Wouldn't you think?
I tell a legitimate slap.
I think I watch enough slapping that I'm an expert.
I respect that.
So I'm just throwing that out there. If you guys can have your opinions, but remember, I'm the expert.
We've stayed you as an expert. What's your expert opinion?
So
the whole thing was crazy. It was crazy, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about this, like just from a billion different people. How they make it about race. Like when somebody says you can't comment on it, but I just got that out of the way. I'm the expert on it, so we can talk about it.
And you're part of the tribe.
And I'm part of the tribe.
My favorite was
like Jews?
Yeah.
Well, how does that help me?
Well, because you can talk about it because if white...
Oh, it happened at the Oscars.
Oh, is that... What does that mean?
Well, because Jews own Hollywood. Is that what you're getting at? I don't understand what you're saying.
Because you're
talking
I'm
about
a
race.
minority.
Well, blacks are in the tribe.
Some, yeah.
Okay.
The lost tribe of Zion.
Yeah.
I think it's... Yeah, I don't think it's like...
The best
I think it's more like
Rastafari.
Rastafari.
This is the first time the media's been...
I don't know. I don't know that stuff.
The first time the media covered a black-on-black crime.
But
what do you think of this, the slap as an expert?
Well, I mean, it looks like some slap. This is the way I see it, okay? I imagine that Chris Rock sees him coming and must think it's some sort of gag because he's standing there smiling. Like, that's the most suspicious part about it for all the fakes out there, people who are claiming it's not real. Those are the moments they're looking at, right? He has this like weird smile on his face, and even after the slap. But like, I just think that's the last thing he ever thinks is going to happen, you know?
Well, I also thought about it. It's he had probably seen Will Smith laugh 2 seconds before.
Yeah.
Because he's looking right at them as he tells the joke, right? So he sees Will Smith laugh, then he gets up.
But that's what I mean.
So he probably thinks it's some sort of...
And from Will Smith's, like, so unacceptable, but he has so much time to think about what he's doing as he's walking up there. It's not like you're in a bar, somebody says something bad about your wife, and you have moments to decide whether you're going to, stand up for her or not. He could have walked halfway and then just turned around and walked back, Like, it would have been weird, but it wouldn't have ruined his career, which I think is going to happen.
Could have just done nothing.
He's all right.
Oh, absolutely, Matt. There are so many things he could have done. Sorry, I've just talked about this so much. I feel like I've already said all this stuff. But yeah, of course, look, if he really wanted to be an asshole and disrupt the Oscars, he could have just yelled from his seat. That would have accomplished what he was looking for. More than that, he could have just waited to win his Oscar and go up there and say whatever the fuck he wanted. Chris, my wife has alopecia. You're punching down, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was so ludicrous. It was so crazy. And I think the best response I saw to it was Jim Carrey. I don't know if you had a chance to watch that clip, but he like sums it all up perfectly. He's talking to, I don't know who she is. She's some like black daytime host, a lady. Anyways, he comes out. He's just pretty much says, it's so obvious we're not the cool group anymore, And then she kind of like is like, yeah, but it escalated to that point. She's like, no, it did not escalate to anything. Will Smith has like demons inside him, and it was good. It was
Jim Carrey was trying to compare himself to somebody.
No. What?
We're not in the cool group anymore.
He said it's
Hollywood.
It's Hollywood
cool
is
people
obviously not the cool group. When something like this happens, sure, fine, whatever. He's an anti-Trumper. Is that why you don't like him? People can have opinions.
He's gone weird. He's retiring actually after the last Sonic movie he's doing.
I like how he's throwing shade on Jim Carrey. Like,
I've been throwing shade on him for years now.
I know, good old Canadian boy, and this guy's hating.
I think the whole thing's phony.
You think the Chris Rock Will Smith slap is phony?
I think it's like the Super Bowl titty. I think they were like, we'll do this. It got out of hand, and now they're so crazy. They're like riding it out.
Hold on a second. I would agree with that. If he went up and slapped him, the yelling from the seat, you could see.
From the guy who just won Best Actor.
No, he hadn't won Best Actor yet.
He's the best actor of the year. The grin he had as he walked away, and that he's not that guy to talk like that.
I think
that was total ad lib. He just said this will really add to it. That's what I think.
Okay, I mean, look, maybe you're right, Kamar.
I doubt it.
I also doubt it. What I do find interesting is that, so he was big into Scientology for a second. They say he left in 2016. I have my doubts on that. I think he took a step aside when they started getting like a lot of bad publicity and stuff. But apparently in Scientology, slapping is like the higher levels will often slap the lower levels. And there's even like a course.
What a cool fucking religion.
There's even like a course on like asserting that kind of, I don't know all the ins and outs here, but asserting that kind of control. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, maybe. But then I started thinking back, like Miscavige, the president, he's been accused of slapping multiple people. Like, it's obviously, and couldn't you just see Tom Cruise doing that?
Like jumping up to slap someone in the face?
I could see Tom Cruise doing exactly what Will Smith did. Like that, I could interchange them.
I would love
in
if
that
Tom
position.
Cruise slid onto the stage and like put Will down, but gently, and had the makeup.
Came down from the
I think the whole thing's
ceiling,
fucking
like in
bullshit.
Mission Impossible.
I think the whole thing's fucking bullshit and just disgusting.
Well, I think you're crazy that you think that, but it doesn't surprise me that you think that.
The slap reminded me of a certain Robert De Niro's Kick. and like
In
You think you
in
honestly
The
think
Irishman?
that slap looked like the Irishman?
your life has to be in such a fucked up place.
It
for you to
is.
snap like that,
Dude,
No, he's
look-
worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Like
his wife just admitted to cheating with him with one of his son's friends. He has to
6
come out.
months ago.
Oh, so you think you just get over that? Like,
I mean, the joke was really bad.
I don't think it was bad at all.
What was it about?
G.I.
Have
Jane?
you guys seen the movie?
Okay, what is he doing
I
here?
thought there'd be nothing more apropos.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack the brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head to see what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office. This week we're doing G.I. Jane. It was in everyone's mouth, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
How did
Was
you
it
not,
worth-
how
What
did
a
you
way to
not know where he was
derail a
going
fucking
there?
conversation.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
we'll get back to it. We'll get back to it.
Unbelievable.
But G.I. Jane is at the center of this controversy.
That's right. Demi Moore is at the center of this controversy.
What if you said,
I
like,
want to slap
hey,
Kamar
Will,
right
your
now.
bitch looks like she's got cancer. Is everything all right over there? Is that too much?
Anyways,
I think the whole thing's contrived.
G.I. Jane didn't have cancer.
This week we're doing G.I. Jane starring
Did she?
Demi Moore.
No. She was in
She
the
shaved her
Navy
head to go
SEALs.
into the fucking military.
Yeah. That was the
Directed
story, yeah.
by Ridley Scott. Starring Demi Moore, Viggo Mortensen, and Anne Bancroft.
Okay, G.I. fucking Jane came out in what fucking year?
Anybody have an extra pen?
Fictional story of a first woman to
Simon, see right there?
undergo
second drawer.
special operations training.
don't put the
similar
dead
to the
one in
U.S.
there.
Navy
Come on.
SEALs.
And
What do they
don't
call
roll your
that?
eyes at me. And then don't make that face.
Because it's all about love here at the movie game.
This dickhead. Don't do it. He's just such an asshole.
So yeah, Chris said, Jada can't wait to see in G.I. Jane 2. If she comes out in G.I. Jane 2, then you know this was all a disgusting prank gone wrong. Correct? Is that fair? That's fair to say?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Jade is on the
Jane.
fucking clock.
Oh my god.
Distributed by Buena Vista Pictures. I don't think they're any business anymore. Possibly a Weinstein production? No, that's not true.
I have a year. You said this was a Ridley Scott film?
Ridley Scott
Thank
directed.
you. Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
I
With
have
a year.
I have 98.
I have 94.
1997. It was a hot August 22nd. It's a Monday, I believe.
All
It
right.
would have come out on Friday.
I was gonna say who drops a movie on a Monday?
Demi
Worst,
Moore does.
worst box office ever. Okay, a Ridley Scott movie with Demi Moore. in
But I mean,
1997.
Samuel Jackson won a Oscar.
Who else is in this? Can you read down the list for me again? Vigo
Demi
was in it. You
Moore,
said.
Viggo Mortensen, and Anne Bancroft.
Okay, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm not quite ready yet, but I'm getting there. I'm real close.
Demi Moore, crush on her when you were young?
Oh, she was so hot.
She was so hot. She had
What
some-
was the stripper one she did? Showgirls? No,
Striptease.
Striptease.
Showgirls was the chick
Yeah,
from, Saved by the Bell.
Oh, they're not. It wasn't the. I thought those were the same music movies.
No, same music for sure.
Same music.
I can almost guarantee that.
She was the first like fucking crazy MILF. Side note: Bruce Willis has some sort of disease.
Crazy disease. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's too bad.
Love the Willis.
I heard he was a real prick on set, though. So
Yeah, I would be too.
I have 28.4 million to make, and I have 264 million at the box office.
I have 26 million to make and 167 at the box office.
You guys are both way off. This was a trick question. Budget $50 million to make.
5-0.
5-0. Wow. With a total box office of $48.2 million.
What a flop.
Are you
It's a
fucking?
bomb!
Yeah, but you know it's going to become a cult classic now on DVD.
Mixed
I-
reviewers,
I
Moore's
said-
performance receiving criticism winning her the Razzie Award for Worst Actress.
Oh, if I had known that. I mean, you could have read that first, and we might have.
Well, that would have been a bit of a tip. That would have been a bit of a tip. And
Wow.
there's no one other than Jada who could breathe new life into that role and make an astounding comeback. That's the movie game. Yeah. But the thing is, so many people are taking it as serious. It really happened. What are the repercussions to Will or whatnot? But I just think your life is in such a spiral. Like that's such
Hold on a second, though.
cry for help.
You think that this is like the moon landing. They're just going along with this because they can't back out now. And-
That's exactly what I think. Yeah.
Dude, there's so many people involved. Like,
Are there?
yeah.
It's
there
Will
are.
and Rick and Chris.
No, and the Oscar committee and this and that. It's like it's not just a tiny little thing. It's
It could be a tiny little thing.
oh, by the way, China took back Taiwan, eh?
Not yet.
No, they did while this was all going on. It was a 3-day cover story. For,
Are you serious?
No, I'm not
Oh my
fucking
God.
serious. But it could have happened. All we've been talking about is Will and Jada.
true.
Like,
It's true. Maybe it was Putin's fault.
anyways, that was a
Resilience.
bad joke. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, Kamar, I just, but I can't. It's too big for that. It's too big for that.
Are you saying we're on the clock? Oh, I thought you were tapping. I thought you were saying someone was on the clock. I was like,
No. I know. I don't think it is. I don't think that's. It's
I
not
think
crazy.
Will Smith is a really entitled guy, and he's broken, obviously, and he did something that is fucking crazy, and I don't know, man. I don't know what more to say.
It really breathed life into the Oscars. I don't know.
I mean, yes, but like,
You know what it is? Is more talking to other people who sold me that they don't believe it, especially females.
who did?
Doesn't matter.
I don't
who.
need to know.
More than one girl said, "Nah, I don't think it's real." And furthermore, would say, if my partner, whoever, did that, I'd be mortified. I wouldn't be like, "Oh, you stood up for my honor."
Of course, but Jada is obviously not normal, dude. Like
Yeah.
you're talking about rational people acting in a rational way. I agree. We're talking about famous celebrity, fucking Scientology. Like they're not.
And I wouldn't put it past them to do this elaborate ruse.
Again, I don't think they could convince the Academy. Like this makes them look horrible.
Yeah, well, it was a
Horrible.
They misjudged. They missed the mark.
look at his face. Simon's face.
No. Listen, I don't mind at all you having a difference of opinion, but like, come at me with some sort of scenario that makes sense here.
I'm
He's
with you,
just
Simon.
not that guy.
That's
Will
not that-
Smith
hold on,
is
hold on,
not
hold on,
that
hold on.
guy.
That doesn't make
definitely
sense.
not that guy.
So, Kamar, anyone who's not that guy can have a moment, especially if alcohol's involved.
No, it's more than keep
Hold on.
my wife's name out of your mouth. Like that is just like.
How do you know he wasn't drinking? He was having a
It's
dude.
such a hood line, and he's been famous since he was 17. He hasn't had the time to develop that sort of.
He's got two young kids.
Who are both like transgender. Like,
Yeah, but who still
he's
talk.
woke as
who's-
woke.
His son still talks like he's from the fucking hood.
There's
All the more
there's
reason-
a term I would use, but I won't use it.
All the more reason why he would never involve himself in this lowbrow
It's so
like
far-fetched,
display.
That's all. I can't give you definitive proof.
it's
gut
so-
feeling.
Okay, all right. I mean, sure.
But all of your gut feelings go against. It's like a
It's just against the norm all
always
the time. Yeah.
whatever the narrative is, even if the narrative is pretty straightforward.
And look, again, Mocha, like I'm the first
haven't heard that for a
guy
while.
to jump on board, but like I need at least there to be like we got to have some bread trail to follow,
The
you know?
only thing that made me skeptical is I saw a clip with Theo Vaughn, who said he was with David Spade and they
Yep.
went to a party and
Yep.
talked to him.
I saw that.
And he was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yep.
It's still a third-hand account. If I heard Chris Rock right after say like, see the shock in
like
his
the
face,
police, the NY or the LAPD released a statement saying we spoke to Chris Rock right after this happened. we said we'll go out there and take Will Smith away. This is the police we're talking about. You think everybody's in on the joke, Kamar? Everybody's in on the prank?
Just like not everyone's in on the moon landing.
Well, here we go.
Anyways.
Oh, okay. For a couple of ratings, like that is all of those Oscar people who set this up could go to jail, Kamar.
Yeah. If
Like-
they weren't actors, I submit Juicy Smollett, who was like, wow, that is how you do it. You got to go full commitment. If they weren't actors, it'd be way more far-fetched, but it's just, they are the perfect people to do it. That's
Look,
all.
maybe
I
you're
don't want to argue that.
maybe.
No, I don't want to argue it just to get to a point where we change our opinion. You know what I mean? It's
Because you do not want to have your opinion changed under any
the dress
like
is
that
blue,
would be
the dress is white.
crazy.
Well, no, I think it's fake. How else? Like,
I know. So, you know what? This is what I don't like about that. You came in, you said, I listened to a bunch of girls and they changed my mind, but someone presumably that you respect just is impossible for me to
after all the
penetrate
slaps
your
you've
fucking
seen,
dome.
you think that was a real slap?
I mean,
No, you don't. Look inside, Simon.
okay, whatever.
You know that slap
Look
is
in-
suspect.
Look inside,
I
Simon.
think that anything would look suspect because it was like it's like seeing Santa Claus in Hawaii. It was so abnormal. It was so out of the ordinary. It was such a juxtaposition to our senses that, yeah, of course it seems fake, because the idea that Will Smith would ever do that to Chris Rock is like
It's ludicrous.
It's ludicrous.
it's
It makes more
other
sense that it's fake.
dimensional.
It makes more sense that it's fake.
No, Kamar, you act like reality isn't insane, like crazy. Ridiculous things that shouldn't happen every single day.
That being said, if it is real, send your prayers to
It's aliens.
Will Smith. He is in a very bad place because with all the riches, a beautiful family, he should not be in a zone where he could just snap.
You all
that's
wait a minute,
fucked up.
Dude, he's crazy.
Hold on. I
Dude,
know
are
this
you
is nuts.
Are you nuts?
What?
You act,
What?
Kamar?
Every rich person is happy?
Will Smith should be happy.
Dude, his wife cucked him
Just
on
one best actor. It was the greatest night of his life.
he's not even you're not even looking at that part of it.
But that was so long ago. He hasn't dealt
Yo,
with
it wasn't that long ago. And do you
it.
get
Months ago.
So what, Kamar? He's been with her for like 20 years. His wife cheated on him. You're saying that 6 months? You're just
Not
like,
only cheated
they had
on
a
him.
consensual, open
Yes.
relationship.
that apparently he wants no part of?
Of course,
like,
no guy wants part of that, especially the woman asked for it.
yeah,
Okay,
you
this-
want to take
I-
part in that, but you don't want any part.
So,
of it.
Anyways,
so
look.
in hitting Chris, he was actually hitting Jada, and that's what it was.
Okay, I don't know what the
neither.
reasoning was. We're debating whether it was real or fake.
I think it's fake.
If you want to talk about why we think he did it,
Either way,
well,
we got to move on because there's a ton of Josh
Yeah, I'm
Barnett.
sorry.
I also didn't want to talk about it too much because unfortunately we record on Sundays and we're like a week late.
week
like this
late,
thing's
yeah.
been beat
It's
to
been-
fucking death.
I've
this
talked a
week.
lot about it all week.
Horrible.
Who hasn't?
Dude, being the expert on the subject, I've had a lot of people coming to me looking for
I bet White Simba's phone was blowing up.
And I'm the only
looking
person,
for statements,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm the only person you talk to who thinks it's fake.
You're one of I can't think of another person I talk to who thinks it's fake.
They were talking about the Baja racing, those trucks. That's awesome. Would you guys
Baja.
ever want to do that?
The Baja.
Baja.
No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I would like to take one of those buggies out there. I don't know if I'd want to do like a 500-mile.
You just want to tour for a couple hours, but
Precisely. Yeah, I don't want to have to do a 500-mile piss. Dude, a catheter? I'm out.
And Joe gave a little.
Yeah.
Right? Anything that involves a catheter,
I don't if
out.
I have
much
to
commitment.
piss in a bag or shit in a cup, I don't want any part
out.
of it.
Joe slipped up a little bit and said he was. He showed that he's been out of touch for longer than we may have suspected. Because they're talking about cars and vehicles, and he goes, "Yeah, I was broke. I only owned a couple cars.
I only had a couple of
I
properties
mean, it
in
wasn't broke,
Baja.
bro. Like, no, if you own a car, you're not broke.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that.
No, if you own multiple cars.
especially if you own the car. If you're paying payments and it's week to week, touch and go, and it might get repoed. Okay,
I
you
think
might
what
take
he
it, bro.
meant was he didn't have like a warehouse in Baja where he kept all his cars.
which he now does.
Which he now does, exactly.
Yeah.
He
Baja
broke-
warehouse.
He broke,
Well, it's, warehouse space is cheap in Baja.
Yeah, of course.
I think.
It's the desert.
Oh, yes, it is. You are correct.
So I would assume if there is warehouse space out there, it's probably pretty cheap.
and I think it's Baja, California. I think there might be Baja, Mexico too.
There is.
you got
Bahas,
it.
yes.
It's Baja.
And then he broke Joe's heart. It's so amazing how Joe reacts when he finds another thing about Bruce Lee isn't true.
Yeah.
Because he was like, no, he grew up in Washington or Portland or whatever. It's like, what?
I grew up in Seattle, I think it
Joe
was.
is
Yeah.
a physical breakdown. Why are they doing this about the most important man in martial arts? I noticed that. Liberties of stories. Directors just do that. That's what's going to happen.
What? Say that again?
Directors will take liberties with stories. Writers will add stuff, make it sexier. These from California. Like,
It's not even. Listen, you forget that it's very difficult to tell a compelling story in a short period of time. Like if you're doing Ozarks and you know you have 4 seasons, you can start Bruce Lee in Seattle. You can tell the story of him moving. You have all this time. In a 2-hour movie,
But why do you have to make up that he comes from somewhere else?
No, it's not making it up.
I'm with you.
They're not making what
They're
I'm saying
just
is
leaving
this.
it out.
What I'm saying is
Skip
this.
over.
They're just saying, listen, it's easier for the story if we just say he moved right to LA.
Sure.
And then because I'll agree with you in this, Simon. I find it ridiculous where they're like, the audience won't understand. Like they think we're really dumb. You know what I mean? It would take one 30-second scene of them packing up the house like, oh, we're moving to California. You know what I mean? It's not that difficult, but they
No, it's that it breaks the fantasy that everybody has in their head.
Sure. And I mean, again, he always uses the Big Daddy Goodrich example. You never know. They might have gone to Big Daddy Goodrich and he was like, I don't want any part of this fucking film. Leave my name out of it. And then at that point, they have to make up some.
I guess
Fighter.
you don't have to make him a Russian. You could stick with what it was, just
It's
not
just-
We also
mention
know
his
that
name.
Hollywood is fickle. And they're
Yeah,
like, you know
yeah.
what? This black guy doesn't want a piece. Fine. He's a big white Russian guy now.
Did anybody, speaking of movies that tell a story, did anybody see that, I guess this ties into Will Smith too, Bradley Cooper movie, The Nightmare Alley?
I had to stop.
It's, oh, so you didn't even get to the end.
I'm halfway through.
It's
Are you going to ruin it for everyone?
no, I'm just going to say it's a 2.5 hour movie
So long.
to get to a really good punchline, but it's like that's all the movie is. It's all just leading up to
nominated.
one scene at the end, and when that scene happens, you're like, you know,
I stopped to watch the basketball. He gave a great breakdown about wrestling
Yeah, how it
and
came
how
to
it's
be.
gotten to where it is now. He was really a superior physical discipline, and that's where Marx comes from. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't do but that's a nice little piece of history. we
that's
got.
where Marx
The
comes
term
from.
mark.
They
You're
were
a
talking
mark.
about like they'd have a guy like I'll fight anyone, and they'll have a big guy, but he loses, and everyone like what? And then other people try, and then they dummy them and all this stuff. And if you saw someone you could rip off, they were a mark.
It's the same way like in a game of 3-card Monty.
Yeah, no, I got it. I
And then he
I
talked
didn't hear
about
that.
coaches that demand like you gotta do 500 push-ups and run 3,000 miles
1,000
before I
squats.
even train you or whatever. And it's total like
I always want to know, is that in one sitting?
Mr. Miyagi.
Karate Kid shit. That's exactly what it is. Like if you can't even do that, what
Yeah,
are we
I
doing
can't even
here?
work with you, yeah.
And then he really got into how coaching is mentoring, and like you're like, as a coach, what are you doing? And he has like 4 guys he coaches or whatever, manages, because you get involved in your life, and it's such an interesting thing that we have coaches in life. Like that's part of you. You need someone on your side, but to give you tough love, but to push you, and like we as human beings, we strive better with a coach. Wouldn't you say that's why they exist?
I never had a coach, so I couldn't.
Well, I think part of human nature, just like learning, is teaching. I think it's all part of like the cycle of just being human. So
But it just takes a special type of person who wants to embrace being a coach and knows what it is, and you've got to like give someone some sort of test
Well, I think there are a lot of different coaches
See if
out
they're
there,
worthy.
Kamar, and some people are doing it because they don't want to give up the sport they're in. They want to keep, being part of something. I think that everybody has, just like any other occupation.
It's like
you're
almost
gonna
having
get
a good
lot.
conscience, because for most part, a coach is going to want what's best for you.
I also think, though, it's like people by and large want to pass on their knowledge. Like, I find that no one is like, when someone knows something, they're not normally like, I'm not going to. I mean, some people can't be bothered. But for the most part, like, when you find someone that's interested in the thing you're interested in, you're like very willing to like.
As long as it's not something that makes you a lot of money, then I find people are much more hesitant to
Coaches
just
for
pass
money
out
are
that,
suspect?
I know what he's saying. No, he's saying like if you have a one of a kind.
I'll help Matt with a problem he has, but I'm not giving him my secret to make $1 million. I don't have that secret, but if I did,
For your own gain, not just to help the other person, and or investing time into someone and then they just fuck off on you.
Well, I think that
be
happens all the time, and you get,
Feelings.
yeah, you get shy to helping people more and more because you have so many bad, experiences where, because look, the bottom line is nobody shares your particular values. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's different in that way. And what is like a slight to me may not be a slight to Matt, but when he does that thing to me, I never forget it,
Yeah. Well, Josh Barnett just seems like he's a stand-up person and looks for stand-up qualities of people and doesn't
Seems
put
like
his
a
name behind
salt of the earth.
a
dude.
shithead. They talked about how we're in Kali Yuga.
Well, he mentioned it like 100 times.
And the way that works is it's after, I think, Krishna passes. So it started 100,000 years ago and is going on for another 300,000. So for them to say we're in the middle of it and to be like, when will this end? Don't.
The middle of Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga.
So that's what, like a time period on a.
It's a theory that when Krishna died or went away, we entered the period of Kali Yuga.
It's like the age of Aquarius, or
something like
whatever,
this, yeah. So
Okay, gotcha.
don't look like it's coming to an end. All this chaos. That's sort of what they blamed it on. The fracturing and destruction of society doesn't happen in a week.
Well, I mean, we're such a that tiny little blip on the map, in the timeline. We just think we're really important, but just like the climate goes up and down throughout millions of years. So I imagine too, do people and.
But even then, though, how do you know that the Kali Yuga didn't start before mankind? You know what I mean? And that we were just born into it. Like,
Maybe.
Well, yeah,
There's another time period that is the same thing of uneasiness, but it has nothing to do with this religion. I forget what it's called. Someone told me about it. Wow.
Was it one of those girls?
It was one of those girls, yeah.
But it just seems like they're all talking about the same thing.
Exactly.
Just
It's-
Kali Yuga, Age of Aquarius.
Different- exactly,
We're coming into something new. I don't know how long this Kali Yuga has been going on for.
You know, when
but-
he showed up, he looked kind of disheveled. Were you at like a flat Earth orgy last night or something? Like,
I wish.
Well, explain wearing the Rick and Morty T-shirt. That would work.
I love
That
my
makes
Rick and Morty.
sense.
It's Logi
who
Day.
doesn't like Rick and Morty?
They were complaining about politicians and stuff, and it's amazing how there aren't like an exceptional class of people in those positions.
Sorry, repeat that for me.
There just aren't exceptional people in roles as politicians. Like Josh Barnett is an exceptional person. That doesn't mean he's going to make a good politician, but there's exceptional people out there, and they don't fall in these roles, which are leadership. Like in a weird way, he sort of talked about like people getting power and not wanting to relinquish it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it a lot in that
we will.
Schollenberg.
He also talked about defending Joe. They also talked about ivermectin, which has come out with studies that said it doesn't do anything. So that was sort of poor timing on their part.
Dude,
It
have you
doesn't
seen
do
the,
anything like to help
for COVID, yeah, it has
but
zero.
it certainly doesn't hurt you.
No.
No. Listen, that's always been my thing from the beginning. Was like I have to wait for the studies to see if it does anything for COVID, but it's definitely more than a horse paste.
Yeah,
It's a very safe drug, but have you seen the Weinstein brothers?
They're at each other's throat, it appears, eh?
what?
are,
What's
yes.
going on? Whoa, hey ho, fill me in.
Well, so Brett Weinstein still believes vehemently.
Vehemently, I like that word, Matt.
that ivermectin.
Are you farting?
No, I'm trying to follow because it's
Brett believes that ivermectin, it still to this day, is the cure for COVID, the solve all for COVID.
Okay.
Eric believes through the science that it is definitely not.
feels the tests have now been
He
done.
feels
and
that the
evidence
studies
is-
have adequately been put
Okay.
forth and that it doesn't have any effect, noticeable effect.
Yep.
And now they're like beefing on Twitter, and Eric is like, your group of people are like online harassing me at this point, and you need to check this because it's on you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
really
you want to
devolved.
know what's here? Like, Brett Weinstein, that's the ivermectin guy, with
Dark
the,
Horse podcast.
Yeah, with Dr. Patrick Corey there, or
Yes,
whatever his name
Pierre.
is, Pierre Corey. When they came on, it wasn't. I have no problem with like people talking about alternate things. It was the vehement, the passion of the ivermectin. So I felt like
Well, it just didn't seem like a thing of science.
it was vaccine against ivermectin. Do you know? It was one or the other, where there were, like Joe said, he took a plethora of drugs that none of us can get our hands on or afford, you know? So, sorry, Kamar, go on.
It's okay.
no,
Just
yeah,
looks like he gets so annoyed every time.
I just
you look pretty annoyed a lot of the time.
we want to.
Oh, I am annoyed.
Okay.
I'm actually
Fair enough.
annoyed.
I just meant like you look annoyed to be here half the time.
I thought he. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say again. Okay, go ahead, Kamar. I'm sorry.
Can't hide his emotions, man. He like starts pouting.
No, no.
No, it looks like it hurts you.
He turns away and he's like, I'm not going to let them see
Yeah.
that this
He
really
ju-
bothers me.
He just got poetic about part of the reaction to COVID was the denial of death. Like, just keep this away from us. Like, survival is so important.
It also doesn't mean that you should lean into a pandemic, right?
No, which, and then
No, but survival is important, right? Like that's kind of what we're all doing here.
and we survived.
No,
Like-
I'm just saying, it's
And we will survive, and then we'll die.
Like-
Yeah,
just
but Kamar,
denying is inevitable.
It's almost like it's almost like
Yes.
it's almost like if I was in the room with these two guys and they were like, "You need to really start working out and taking your health seriously," and I said to them, "I think you guys are taking this living long like way too seriously." It's the same argument, right? Like, why should I bother working out? You're just trying to prolong
what
your
if they're
life, and
like,
you're going to die eventually.
You know what, Matt? Good point.
They're never going to say
Point
that.
taken, actually.
They're
Come on.
never going to say that. They would both just elbow me in the head, and then it'd be over.
They were just talking about the show, and Barrett was sort of defending him and stuff. And Joe said, if it gets too big, I'll quit.
yeah. That made a bunch of clips on.
made a bunch of clips.
Well, he said that a couple of times. He said, "Look, if I ever have to start doing this differently, because to appease anybody, which I guess he kind of did."
I feel
But-
like it's
Look, Joe's human.
direction.
He's not doing. I was thinking about this morning actually. I don't think Joe's not out there to change the world.
No,
Like he never wanted to, and nor do I think he wants to. And
but what is okay? He has the biggest podcast in the world.
yeah,
If it's too big, I'll walk away. What does that mean?
I don't know.
he
And
didn't. He didn't
he-
say if it was too big.
What did he say?
It just makes too much controversy.
Yeah, he said if I ever have to start doing it a different way.
Well, I mean, but he already has because he already in the last year has been like, I'm not going to have politicians on, and then of course broke that
But I think that
Coming right up.
this week.
in Joe's corner, I think those were things that he probably got caught up in and doesn't want to have to do with anyways. Like having all these different politicians on all the time. That's not a fun show. You've just become Bill Maher. You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah, I
but
think it's
in
time for him
hold
to
on,
quit.
but in Joe's defense,
You think
he's-
Joe should quit?
I think so. And just go the way of the under. Like he's losing his mind. We'll get into it.
Oh, Joe is losing his mind.
They talked about the official who talked about inflation, and the advice was to eat lentils and ride the bus. Like things are not going well. Clearly, the Chihuahua versus the 4 chickens.
oh,
that story
4 chickens would fuck
Hit
Chico
hard.
up.
I just saw him in the back, like with his knife by his side, trying to defend himself.
little leather jacket without sleeves.
Then they started talking about the problems in California, which really leads into our next guest. He was just describing it almost as Barter Town from Mad Max 3. And they talked about how in the Roman times, people were weary of 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck are you still around? What's going on here? Would that be so weird that that was an old person?
Yeah, you must have been hiding out during all these fights because there's no way you could have made it to 30.
Yeah.
Well, that's not how it was portrayed in.
Rome.
No, I was going to say 300.
Oh.
They were the Spartans. Rome was.
Well, I would say the royalty
Romans.
probably.
Well, what did he
last.
say?
Spartans.
I thought he was talking about.
I thought I was talking gladiators.
Oh, you were
okay.
talking about gladiators. They were talking about Spartans.
And I think the nobles might live a little bit longer, but the common person.
Well, Romans lived a lot longer than the Spartans would have. That's where I think we're getting confused.
We're lost.
Well, you are.
Then he tied it all up. He tied it all up with.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well,
Oh, I do, but I don't.
you
just
are.
talking about, there's a fear of death or the acceptance of death, culture without honor, back to the booze. And booze talk. It was a nice little bow. Rate it.
Holy shit.
I can't. But I mean,
None of that made any sense to me.
No, it was
but
good.
not supposed to.
Good, nice bow. Come on.
As
I
long
like
as it
that.
worked for
Those
you.
are my jot points.
Yeah, no, I got it.
I mean, I give it a 2. This should have been an MMA. I don't find these ones are just cock stroking, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's Joe's show; he can have on whoever he wants, but this just tends to be a big old
Yeah,
fucking
and when
circle
we're
jerk.
talking about wrestling for 40 minutes, like, come on.
He seems like a good guy, though.
Yes,
he's
great guy.
I'm not trying to shit on Josh Barnett at all. He seems like a fucking. I would love to have him as a neighbor, a friend, a brother-in-law, like across the board. Seems like the best dude to know. I'm not.
Yep, I'll agree
I give
with
it a
all
3.5.
those things.
Simon, did you rate it?
I'll give it a 2.5.
Okay. Well, look at us covering the whole board.